Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition, to another installment of Hashtag Fade to Black. I'm your host, Donnell Lamonte Morris. Now, you're probably wondering what happened on Friday. Well, things happened, but we are here right now. Once again, I'm Donnell Lamonte Morris for another edition of Hashtag Fade to Black. Teach will be coming in just a little bit once she handles her technical difficulties. But other than that, you know everybody else. You know Mayo gonna be coming in the middle of the show. Beast, he's gonna be coming in as soon as he get everything straight and done. But business as usual. I'm gonna start with the opening statements. I cannot wait to tell. Can't wait to tell. I don't know what's going on with me. Opening statements. Roll the segment. All right. For anybody who watches the Breakfast Club, Dr. Umar, if you want to call him Dr. Umar Johnson did his interview today. He actually, I think this is like his fifth, maybe sixth time on the Breakfast Club. He basically was given his piece to what's been happening with these police shootings, to the Derek Chauvin, to the latest that happened in Ohio, and then once again my state with another police killing. And this is what we do not need. Why, you may say? Because I'm sick and tired of fake messiahs like Umar Johnson. Always got something to say, but ain't doing nothing. Don't you have more fish to fry? Remember your school? What, 7, 8 years? Nothing. You finally got the building. It's funny when LeBron James finally got a school in his hometown. Then a month later, now all of a sudden you got school. People reaching out to you about what is going on with their money, one. And then two, you have black businesses, techs, people that has experience with buildings. Sorry about that. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I might just went off. I apologize about that. But going back to what I was saying. I don't know. I think they get after me, y'all. I think they coming after me with the mic thing because my computer keeps going out with the mics and all that stuff. So hold on quick. Hopefully that helps. All right. So like I was saying, Umar is no different than Candace Owens. Just because you put sugar on shit does not change that the sugar is on shit. Excuse my language. And we keep falling for these people who at the end of the day, one, who's not doing nothing to help push us forward besides telling us things that we already know. And then you got another one who's just self-hating and thinking that she's telling the truth about us and telling us to look ourselves in the mirror. It just blows my mind that we put these people in high regards when the same issues that I had yesterday is no different than the issues that I have today. And it's going to be the same stack of issues that I'm going to have tomorrow. We need to stop giving these people platforms and just giving them credibility when they're not doing nothing in your life. So for anybody who was on the Breakfast, watch the Breakfast Club and commented on the bottom and sitting there saying he's spitting facts and all that stuff. Y'all been saying that for 7 to 8 years and no school has been produced. Not even the first student has been enrolled. We all need to be saying what Janet Jackson said in the middle 80s with her jam. What have you done for me lately? And if nothing had changed from yesterday, then nothing much has changed. And with that, I yield the floor. And welcome, Beast.
Welcome, welcome. First off, I need to take a drink. Because I'm kind of disappointed in black folk. When we going to learn, like I stated on the last show, we need to control our emotions. We need to be better mindful of the situation, how the situation can be perceived to somebody else on the outside. And I know a lot of people say, I don't care what nobody else think. Well, look, Beast Johnson was born with a deficiency of fucks to give. I ain't never gave none, ain't never gonna give one. I'm the first person in line when it comes to don't give no fucks about nobody. With that being said, I am still mindful and I acknowledge the perceptive image and the perception of the situation to others looking in. I'm never gonna put myself in a situation to where no matter how emotional I get, I'm the one at fault. Or I'm the one that looks like I'm at fault. And I use for an example, growing up, my father was roughly 6'5", good 265, 270, built like he used to play with Bubba Smith and them. We were washing clothes and drunk individual at the laundromat wanted to come around harassing individuals and unfortunately got drunk and stupid enough to harass my mama. And that liquid courage said he could put his hands on her, and my father, being reality, quickly let him know that that cannot, will not, and shall not ever happen, and proceeded to, for lack of a better term, mollywop that motherfucker to the point to where when the police arrived, they immediately had their guns drawn on my father. Because like I said, my father was 6'5", big, dark skin, wide, bear looking motherfucker. Imagine walking into a scenario and seeing this large, almost gorilla looking black man in an aggressive, angry manner, just bludgeoning another man with his fists. This man looked like he got jumped in the club. That's how bloody he was. And it was the bystanders that quickly clarified the situation, had to let him know that my father was the defender, not the aggressor. I explained that so that you can understand that we were mindful of the situation. As soon as the police walked in, we knew how that shit looked. And we made sure that those on the outside looking in were made aware. Unfortunately, in this tech age we live in now with all these fucking cameras, not everybody's going to be vocal because they feel like with my camera, somebody's going to see it. So now you got to be mindful of how you truly carry yourself, because no matter what you see, somebody else is seeing it from a different vantage point and recording it from a different vantage point. So they're not going to see everything you see, which is going to cause a lot of conflict in story. if the situation proves mortal, like in Ohio. As tragic as it is, that shit shouldn't have went down. And no matter how angry you get, you gotta be mindful of your situation where you at. Especially if you yourself call the police or know for a fact the police are in the route, you definitely don't want to be one of the ones looking like the aggressor. It's like being in prison. If a prison fight break out, you know you ain't got shit to do with it. The rule is sit on your ass, put your hands up behind your head, or get up against the wall if you're close to it. Point being, completely immobilize yourself and let it be known with your body that you have no aggression in you and you have no aggression towards that situation right now. So when they come through bucking off pepper spray and bullets on people, they ain't aiming for you. Let's be mindful here now, because we know what's gonna happen when the police get here. You know what color you are. You know how people view you or can or will view you. So if you're put in an emotional state, you know how this shit's gonna be perceived by somebody who has the legal right, jurisdiction, and damn near diplomatic immunity to take your fucking life. Don't give nobody that opportunity. Don't put yourself in a situation that you know gonna end up bad. You know can end up bad. So why would you allow yourself to even step foot on that path? Because the second you put one foot on that path, you ain't got nobody to blame but your fucking self. Your family ain't got nobody to blame but your fucking self. Because ultimately, you initiated it and you allowed it. So you got to deal with the consequences of it. And your people's got to deal with the consequences of you dealing with that consequence. So if you ain't ready to deal with that consequence, or you ain't trying to put your family through that type of dealings of consequences, check yourself. Take a good, strong assessment of who you are and know how people view you. Not to better yourself, just to be mindful and survive. No matter what color you are, people view everyone in a prejudicial, ignorant viewpoint. So don't give them no ammunition. Don't give them no fuel for the fire. And with that, and my dog barking, I yield the floor.
Good evening, everyone. Karibu. Welcome. Nanga Def. Manga Free. Ha. You all are talking about some heavy topics. And I just want to change the atmosphere and talk about another heavy topic, but in a lighter sense. The Black family has undergone tremendous attacks. And we have been resilient and have done everything that we know how to do to keep what is known as family. Now, in this new age, we got a lot of definitions of what constitutes family. But I want us to focus on that old definition, that creator definition, the God and goddess. When God and goddess come together, they create and bring forth the next generation. We need healing on so many different levels. It's difficult in the Black family to find that God and goddess at the head of the family. May find the God on one side and the goddesses on the other. So what can we do to bring the God and the goddess back together in equilibrium, in balance, in equality? Because in essence, right now, the Black family is not in balance. The energies are all over the place. The men are taking on feminine roles, the women are taking on masculine roles, and then you have roles all rolled up into each other and creating confusion. But I suggest that within every problem is the solution. That each man and each woman take stock of their lives and begin to heal what is wrong with the Black family. We can talk about the external pressures that our family endures, the external pressures that have torn the family together. But I see the Black family as a turtle. We know turtles, one, they move very slow. Two, they have a hard shell on the outside. Three, the fleshy interior is very, very soft. And if you ever taken it as a delicacy, it's very delicious. So if the Black family is the turtle, that tender inside is protected by the exterior shell. What is that exterior shell? That exterior shell is the soul and heart that's protecting the family that has been ravaged through racism, through sexism, through feminism. It has been ravaged. We, as gods and goddesses, must find a way to heal the breach between ourselves. We must find that healing power to reconnect and stay connected. We can no longer accept creating half families. We cannot accept just coming into a person's life just to do anything because it's fun. We have to take responsibility as God and as a goddess to do the right thing, the best thing for our lives in terms of creating, building, nurturing a family. The family is the first foundation, the first institution of all institutions given to man. And if we fail at the first level, we can't even make it to the second level. We can't make it to the third level. Can't make it to the fourth level. Back in the 70s and 80s, there was a series called Dynasty about this family in Texas. I believe they were in the oil business. They all had their differences, but at the end of the day, they built themselves as a family, having a family honor, family personality. We can no longer accept just being, just coming into the world haphazardly with no plan, with no future, with no father inputting vision, purpose, and drive into the family. We can't have mothers just having a baby just because it felt good one weekend and she was drinking and, they got high and they had the $40 and boom, here's a baby. No, we have to take more responsibility with our life. We have to live our life and come to maturity. And when we come to maturity, then we can mate and say that when we come into this mateship, we know that we're going to bring forth the next generation and we're going to plan this child's life. We're going to groom him to be the best citizen for our family. Just think, if every family had the idea and saw themselves as a dynasty, power brokers for their community, how much better our community overall would be. So let's think about family. Let's think about what constitutes family, how families are created, how they are sustained, and how they reach that dynasty level. And with that, I yield the floor.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen. I think that was the most powerful opening statements I think I had, in a while. That's powerful from everybody. So that really set a precedence on what's going to go down. I was originally, I still stick to, what topics all of us want to talk about, and we can talk about it. But with all of everything that was being said, where do we go from here? What are the things, if we can just like wipe our plate clean, but still knowing what's been going on, but let's wipe our plates clean. What is the foundation? What do we need so that when things like this happens, that we don't need to continue to go out in the middle of the streets, scream on top of our lungs, singing songs, having, like the event that you went to teach, and just keep doing this thing over and over and over again, because it's becoming, to me, now, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this again, disclaimer, coming from me, that it's becoming a show, because they are, it's expected, not even from us, but from the system itself, from the mayors to the chief of police, to the FBI. I mean, the list goes on and on. They're like, you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have a protest, and we get the police out there with the military gear, shoot some tear gas up in the freaking crowd, and they would disperse. Yes, a couple businesses here and there is gonna get damaged. Yeah, it comes with the territory, but it's becoming a reoccurring thing that is what is to be expected. So, what can we do right now that will not continue to lead on and just break this cycle? Floor's open.
Well, you remember, I don't know, quite a few shows last year, after Al Sharpton's March on Washington in August. And I said, we are not ready. We're not tired. We're aggravated. Like, example is a mosquito can bite you. And at the first few moments, it agitates you. You hit it and get mad at it. You might even catch it if you fast enough. You're agitated. But after a few moments, mosquito bites subsides. So consider these protests, these acts of rage and anger, they're just temporary because we're not tired. We have been given a vial that's overflowing with patience and forgiveness. When that vial gets empty, you will see a change. Until then, you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your time because people are not tired.
The same thing will continue to happen.
I honestly can't. I honestly can't speak on how I truly feel, because that will require an FBI surveillance investigation for a year or two. But I'm kind of in line with Teach. Folk ain't fed up. Like, overall, it's too much forgiveness. It's too much forgiveness with forgetfulness. Because we scream these people's names, but we have honestly forgot what the hell these folk went through. Because if we truly remember what they went through, we would not be sitting out here forgiving folk. I can't speak for Seafway or his family, but for the family members out there that they keep off the camera, I'm right along with you. Ain't no forgiveness in my heart for the bullshit y'all do like that.
Because when you look at the definition of forgiveness means to forget. It means to relinquish accountability. So when you forgive, you're saying, okay, you don't have to pay for this. And so they don't.
Yeah, I had a situation that I mentioned on the show where I got into a disagreement with my coworker. She's probably watching right now. But you would have your like disagreements with your coworker and you fix it. But in this case, for me, I think the best way to describe forgiveness is, smack me, smack, can I have another sir? Can I have another ma'am? And you feel more sorry for the person slapping you than yourself. And I just think what we need to do, and what people that don't look like us been doing, they only do or forgive when it helps them sleep better at night. They don't forgive us for all the innovations that we created, our ancestors created. Or every time you bring up slavery, why y'all always gotta make it about race and da 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 da. But see, you will only forgive because you will sleep better at night, but you're gonna continue doing the same thing. But for us black folks, we just forgive because the Bible told us so, or something that's been passed down from generations and generations. You know,
It's
because
psychological pressure.
yeah, because it
It's
The Bible
psychological
also
pressure.
says, Bible says also says uh do not get tattoos, do not get piercings of the ear, do not scar or adorn any type of jewelry upon your flesh because your body is a temple. Uh, says we're supposed to give burnt offerings. Says a lot of stuff.
but see, also the reason why I said this countless times on the show, I don't believe in protest because I think it's just what it is shit thrown against the wall, hoping that it sticks,
Yeah.
or at least it stays. So that's why I see these protests. Even though 93% of the protests, because I've been to one, has been peaceful, but all I see is y'all forgiving, even though you're mad at what the officers and the police officers have done to these black men, these black women. I understand that. But guess what? You just hoping that something sticks and that they will get the justice that they deserve. Now, with the Derek Chauvin, we all knew, and it's funny, I think people was actually watching our show, like probably in the shadow realm, as they would say, but secretly watching our show because they are saying the same things that Teach would say, what Beast would say, what Mayo would say, what also what I say. And I will say this for those who's watching. I believe that protest is a form of forgiveness. Because going back to what Teach said, because also Teach, you mentioned there's going to be a time where nothing don't need to be said. That's going to happen.
Well, you know why, down there?
Mm-hmm.
Because as you were making the statement about, slap me, can I have another? I was just thinking innately in my head, like a pissed off slave. How can I hit you and get away with it?
Yeah.
How can I strike you down and hurt you to some equal equivalent of my hurt that you have caused and get away with it, or do it and you not know that I'm a person of interest? That's what you're breeding right now. You're breeding a whole bunch of black folk that watch movies like Law Abiding Citizen. And some of us are actually smart. Some of us actually have a mindset like the character in there. So you just gave us a blueprint on how to go about getting correct revenge. And he still got his at the end, but it's a movie.
But everybody was rooting for him. I guarantee you, everybody who was black was rooting for him, and they thought Jamie Foxx's character was the coup. They were sitting there saying, like, Jamie Foxx, you wouldn't do that if that was your daughter. But imagine if that role was in reverse.
That role was for every man. No color, no creed, no nationality. For every man that has ever verbalized or subconsciously thought, if you ever touch mine, meaning my family, I'll burn this whole fucking city to the ground.
And he almost did. I mean, he almost
did. He damn near did.
Yeah. I mean, he killed a dang judge that just was a lazy judge. And we got a lot. And see, and here's another thing, too. Nobody's talking about the judges. Nobody's talking about the DAs in these communities. Nobody's
because
talking
the presumption
about
is to be in law is to be without fault, to be unfallible. Like if you are any degree of law, especially a high regard of law, you are deemed someone who is honest and morally right and ethically just. You are incapable of being flawed or fallible. That's why people presumably do not even bother to question.
Right. So going back on that forgiveness, now y'all probably heard this before, where they say you have to forgive because if you continue to have a grudge against this person, it's only going to hurt you the most.
No, not really.
That's the psychological ballyhoo.
No, not really.
Yeah, that's what I get ready to say. I was about to ask that question.
They make forgiveness tied into you holding a grudge. Not holding a grudge, holding him accountable. So
exactly.
you have to understand the psyche. You know, it's been preached and put in people that if you don't forgive, God not gonna forgive you. Then who has not sinned? So you think, oh, okay, I'm holding the key to this person's salvation, whether I forgive them or not. No, you're holding the key on whether or not they will reap their karma. If you forgive, they will not get their karma. When they talk about you sow, you reap what you sow. Well, if you step in the middle of that and say, we're going to change his paycheck, you're changing karma. If they sowed evil, they should receive evil. But if you step in and forgive, they get good. And then they scratch their head, well, why they keep getting off? Well, you step in the middle of the process. You interfere with the natural laws of karma.
You sure is right, Cheese.
And you have to understand this. If somebody wrongs me, my family can feel the wrong, but they cannot speak for me. Nobody can speak for the deceased. Only the deceased. And me and my mother had this conversation recently about my brother. You know, my brother died from an auto accident where they were drinking and driving. And the young lady, she had to serve jail time because she was driving the vehicle. She lived. He died in the hospital. He was hooked up to tubes, but he took the tubes off so he can talk. And I kept asking him, my mother asked him, who was the young girl in the car? Who was driving the car? He refused to give up her name because he didn't want the girl to get in trouble. Now, my mother, on the other hand, she wanted to put her under the jail because she was a driver. Okay. So I tell my mother, you can't speak for him. You're speaking from you out of the hurt and pain of your loss of your son. But your son protected her. And we had no idea who the girl was. Because he was a ladies' man. He had his women. So we had no idea of who the girl was that was driving the car until the day we went into the courtroom. Because the police, because it's, confidential information. Nothing was released until the day we entered into the courtroom that we could identify the girl, even know her name and know anything about her. But he protected her. He knew who she was. But he protected her. On his deathbed, he protected her. If he was alive, he would have not let that girl go to jail. So you can't speak for the dead. So when somebody is killed, you can't say, oh, he would have. No, you don't know what he would have. You can make a whole bunch of assumptions, but you're talking out of what you think, not what you know.
That's good, Cheese. I didn't even see it like that because that does make sense because that makes sense because look at what's going on with Black people now. Let's look at that. Remember that one case where that police officer thought that she was somebody was in her apartment, which actually turned out to be the wrong apartment. Honestly, to tell you the truth, right. Honestly, to tell you the truth, this is my honest assessment on that case. I believe that officer and that man had a relationship. And
Yeah.
I just
No,
believe that.
the presumption was it wasn't her that had the relationship, but one of her colleagues, because she had pictures in her home of them, him in the middle, her on one side, and a mutual friend that later found out he was intimate with. So when she claimed she
It was
did,
a case of some form of jealousy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
mm-hmm.
you know, but
Yeah,
then again,
I'm kind of with you. I think he was kind of like hitting both of them, and she
yeah,
found out.
that's because she wouldn't do that. You know, let's say if he cheated on a friend, you think she probably would have done that a long, long time ago. But I think that
Yeah.
she thought that, hey, you know, you don't like me, or you know what, f you then, and then just, or she
Let's think about
probably
this. Let's think about young men with their brand new gym shoes. I don't know what's the trendy gym shoe now, but you all know, and I know Beast can attest to this. If somebody step on that man's gym shoe, he ready to fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boondocks defines it as the catalyst for a nigga moment.
Okay, all right. So if he ready to fight because you may have stepped on this gym shoe by mistake because you're in a crowded place, you can't help but step on it anyway.
Right.
Or say you walk past somebody, y'all hit shoulder to shoulder. Oh man, you disrespected me. They ready to draw knives, shoot guns, all this kind of stuff. You cannot tell me that same person, if he got shot by the police, be willing to forgive the police, but he not willing to forgive the next man for stepping on his goddamn shoe.
Oh my God!
I want to go ahead and put it out here. Since he said it, it gives me the validation to say this on camera. That those that know me know this is true, but for those that don't know me, Lord forbid, that's how I got to go. If my death is dirty in any way, I'm gonna fucking haunt you. And I'm gonna be a real evil son bitch about it. Like I'm that person that's gonna forgo heaven just to fuck with you and your family and your bloodline. Yes, I'm that evil. I'm that petty. I'm that spiteful. I'm that type of black person. So Lord forbid that happen. I wish somebody would fix their mouth to say, Beast Johnson will want forgiveness. Bitch, I will resurrect my motherfucking body and debunk that goddamn statement. I wish you would. No, it is not in my spirit. God did not make me that way. The God I serve is the same God you know, and he made me in his eye. Unfortunately, he was looking at the world in the wrathful eye that day.
This is my prepared statement.
Prepared statement. I like that.
It is my wish that my family member will haunt you, that you'll never get another night's sleep as long as you are alive. And when you go to prison, I pray that you get 7 doses of prison justice.
Right.
This is my desire for you, that you reap what you sow.
I mean, and so yeah, and
that's it.
Don't cross me.
And I'm not holding a grudge. It's just like a man go to work and work 40 hours, get his paycheck at the end of the week. I want him to get his paycheck.
Yeah.
Karma come get him.
I got one for you, T.
Yeah.
I got one for you, T. You talk about holding the grudge. This is an actual situation.
Here's a card. You can get it 2 days early.
Oh, I like that. She got able to rush her. Look, when people wonder about the difference between holding the grudge and just not forgiving nobody, I extended my home to a homeboy that was going through marital issues. Let him sleep on my couch, counseled him, try to be there for him, make sure he still had a way and means to be there for his kids. Long story short, another homeboy of ours who I also at another time let lay up in my house and also saved his life. That motherfucker decides to sleep with the current friend's wife and then throw my name in it. Yeah. Now, they know me and know that, hey, what you do is what you do. And if you need to use me as an alibi, give me a fair warning so I can at least say something believable for you. That go for everybody to fuck with me. You know, just being honest. You broke that law. You put my name in something you had no business. You jeopardized and actually damaged several friendships. And I've let it be clear that, hey, I don't hold no grudge. I cannot forgive you, though, until we run a gentleman fade. You got to see these hands. Like, as a man, you have clearly besmirched my good honor. You have disrespected my integrity and my name. And now, good sir, you must see me 10 paces. All hands. After that, forgiveness can, be in the equation, quote unquote. You know, we can move forward and be sociable with each other, but until you see this fade, my nigga, civil at best. I don't hold no grudge. I'm not gonna jump on your ass like Tom and Jerry on sight. I'll speak if I see you in the street, but ain't no love.
Yeah,
it's a fist bump. It ain't no close dab. No. You get the fist bump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How you doing, good sir?
Yeah, and for me, I'm gonna take it a step further. I just know I'm not gonna deal with you.
That's how I put it. If I see you,
it's
but I ain't going out my way to call your ass. I ain't going out my way to pop up in your ass.
But know this: you are on my most wanted list. And what I mean by not even most wanted, I got a bounty on your head, and you don't even know. Definitely the ones that thought that you didn't hurt anything and that you clueless about it. Oh, I got that bounty on your head. So if my name come out your mouth, I don't even care. It's like, oh yeah, I just saw Morris go to McDonald's. I'm knocking you out on sight.
No, it's gonna be a moment. I call it the moment when the devil and God come to terms. It's like, what do you mean? That means you're in a situation. You ever been in a situation where you got beef with an individual, somebody you want to say something to, but you be in environments where you can't say or do what you really want to? Mm-hmm. That's the devil tempting you, but God allowing you, letting you know what's up. The day them two come together is the day when you catch that nigga by your lonesome or in a situation, in an environment where you know you can let them have it and there will be no repercussions. There will be no consequences. This is when the devil sets you up and God give you the alley. And what do you do after that? You up that
thing. and one thing I want to do, and then I'm gonna go to commercial, is this. We also have to look back, even during the times of civil rights, when our ancestors were fighting for the civil rights, and once we received it, not even when we received it, but even during the fight, a lot of them forgave. And the forefront of that was Dr. Martin Luther King, rest his soul. Because sometimes teach the things that you said. Because I know our conversations that we had when we was in the college, and all the things that you have said and told me has all came to tuition. It's like, oh my gosh, she said this. I mean, I didn't see it at first, but now I see it. Where people use Dr. King, well, all the way to the I had a dream speech. How white people just want to use him sitting there like he wouldn't approve of Black Lives Matter. He wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have done that. And it's just like, y'all don't remember him after I Had a Dream speech, where he did had a speech where he said that he's sick and tired of marching, and that
I don't
also I
remember the
think
second half of the I Have a
right.
Dream speech.
And then he wrote a book, his letter from the Birmingham jail, where he did said that rioting is the people that's being unheard. Even though I paraphrase what he said, he's not saying that it's justified. He's just saying if you're not listening to people, the people gonna make you listen. They're gonna make you pay attention. And I believe when he also had that interview, which people don't want to talk about, it is funny that the mainstream media also played in broad daylight, but nobody paid attention to it. He did say that with the passing of the Civil Rights Bill and integration, that he felt like he led his people into a burning house. But people don't want to talk about that.
No, because that isn't the good Negro, the image of the good Negro. The good Negro is passive and agrees with the a white supremacist structure.
Yeah,
but
so yeah.
His speech on Vietnam, that is his most powerful speech. But most people don't even know that he had a speech.
Nope.
But they pick and choose on what is going to make us
historical soundbite.
And I think Dr. King, when he said that he led our people into a burning house, I guarantee you, I put my hand on it, that he was thinking that all this damn forgiveness, I got a rock thrown at me, I get threats every day. My home got, I think it's his home get bombed. He had to move plenty of times, correct?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So,
and at the end, he got killed.
Yeah. At the end,
he got killed. The man that stood for nonviolence was violently
got shot in the head.
Mm-hmm. And so, I know at the twilight of his life, he was just thinking like, all this damn forgiveness, and I still get all this. I did everything right. I did everything by the letter. But then it's an irony within that too. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Black people are the most law-abiding citizens in America. Even when we don't even read the whole letter of the law.
Because we're the reason for the bulk of the laws.
Right.
Our mere existence is the reason for 65 to 80% of the laws in America.
Right. And we try to walk a fine line like everybody else, and we still end up getting crucified for it. And it could be our first offense. And with that first offense gives us a lifetime sentence. And I can't go any further on this forgiveness thing because you and Teach knocked it out the ballpark. So ladies and gentlemen, that's a food for thought for y'all on forgiveness. But when we come back, we're going to continue on. Where do we go from here with the clean slate? We already talked about forgiveness. I wonder what else we're going to talk about. So everybody back to your corners, and we, ladies and gentlemen, be right back. And just like that, we are back. All right. So that first half was pretty entertaining. So once again, plate is wiped clean. What else do we need to add on this plate? We already talked about stop freaking forgiving everybody. What else should we do so that what's been going on now doesn't happen as frequent? I won't say frequently, but at least that we know what to do when this situation happens.
Well, I think people feel helpless. They feel helpless. They feel like they don't know what to do, and then they feel have a lack of courage or a lack of strength to do what they think can be done. There's ways to stop this. There's a way to stop any bully. But are you willing to take the measure? Are you willing to be labeled a negative label for coming to the rescue of your race? No one's willing to do that. No one's willing to do it. And I say we have everything we need to do it. But nobody is thinking. Nobody is thinking. Nobody is thinking. The brain cells have been burnt out.
Well,
That's a bold statement.
well, I was gonna, yeah, I can't fault nothing she had to say. I was going to say we need to do a better sense of self-management and solving our problems internally. Amongst it, we need to get back to acknowledging the benefits that can lie within your direct community, in your neighborhood. A lot of shit can be avoided. It can be solved with the help of a well-placed neighbor here and there. You can definitely avoid situations like that went down, because like I said, in this day and age, there's no reason why we shouldn't. When you got communities setting up actual safe zones for if there's an issue that they feel aggressive about, y'all go into this person's house after school. They already got the backyard. We already called. That's where everybody go meet up to do boxing and just throw hands. I've seen videos where they even let the girls do it. Girls go out there and throw down with each other if they got an issue. It's all done respect. They shoot, they won. You drop more than 3 times, it's over. Take that L, you earn that dub. Move on. You still feeling some kind of way? Go train and come back next week.
My thing is individualism. I think we fall into that way too much because I'm gonna use somebody that graduated from college. Let's say they graduated, they got a BA in business management. They don't bring that expertise back to the hood. They go to the, corporate America. They work for places like, Wells Fargo or for Ford Motor Company or for, they work for those big name companies that if you open up your freaking cabinets, probably working at one of those companies that's making the food or the appliances that you use to this day. They don't take that credibility back. But see, it also goes into, because I know these individuals that work in corporate America, because it happens in the military too, and I know teaching happened in her profession. I know BC probably happened in your profession when you get around other ethnicities. they always want to ask you about, so where you from? Let's say I'm from Virginia. I'm from Slough, Virginia. Oh, snap. Let's say Slough, Virginia was a real bad neighborhood. Be like, yo, is it really bad over there? Is any of your family part of the gang? You know how uncomfortable that will make anybody feel? Or if people just see you as, you probably like, rap music and all that stuff, but I probably just like, contemporary music. That I don't like hip hop, but because I'm black, you have to like Method Man and all that stuff. What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
At this point, I laugh at it.
And
I secretly just chuckle within myself. And sometimes I mess with them. Sometimes I use it as an excuse to just, you know what? I want to fuck with you.
yeah, and we choose that because in the back,
We dealt with it so long.
yeah, in the back of their minds, and also we all fall in that category. In the back of our minds, we don't want to go back to where we came from because how bad it was. This is a good life. If I have to go through this, all this stuff, I should be good. It's a good paycheck. I got a nice apartment. Let's say they don't got a girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other. It's like I'm living this life, but if this is what I have to go through to make to the top, then so be it. And then you got things like this is happening where the whole entire like atmosphere of America is so tense. It's more tense than ever that you cut it with the knife.
Well,
They will see you as a good Negro, as Chief was saying about Dr. King. They're gonna see you as, you're not right. I've been working with you for over 10 years and you never done anything to me to strike me as one of them. So, but go ahead, Teach. I just want to finish that thought.
Yeah, they're always trying to isolate, separate, and the good Negroes from the uppity Negroes. But I had an experience, and I was pretty young at this time. I was on this job, and my supervisor came to me one time and asked me, because she lived out in the suburbs, and she asked me, hey, where can I get some drugs at? Around here. I said, at your house. At your house. Go back to your house and get all the drugs that you want. Because obviously,
Excuse me.
you need them and go get them from your house. And she's like, what? Why are you going to ask me? You the one need the drugs. And they're at your house. So don't come to me because I'm black to ask me where the black drug house is because the white drug house is your house. And so many black people fall into that. They're like, oh, yeah, we got the drug. No, you don't even have the kind of drugs that those people use. You ain't have what they use.
Well, this how you flip it, Teach. This how you flip it, though. Because obviously, even if I didn't with my hair, I get asked all the time. I can get some bud at. Even my black folk, I done came out the damn hood store. Black dude was like, hey man, they got that weed at? I actually I'm on my way to look for some myself, but I'm offended that you would ask me. Point being, I had the same situation. Little white boy asked me with his little homegirls, hey, I get some bud at? We're in the bar at 1:30 in the morning. I look at him like, are you a cop? Now, he asked me, are you a cop? Like, dude, you coming to me at 1:30 in the morning asking me for weed. Are you a cop? No, cool. Hey, come on now. I'm offended you asked me. I mean, yeah, I got some, but I'm just offended you for asking me.
Yeah.
Short of the story, I called my homeboy, and they said what they wanted, and in like 5 minutes, I cleared my homeboy's inventory because these little white kids said they wanted some weed, and they just like we're used to paying this much for this much, and me and my homeboys looking like, you paying what for what? You paying $10 for a Big Mac? Hold on, let me. I know somebody. I'm gonna call real quick. Hey, Pookie, you good?
I
Yeah.
just
You
And
know,
we
that's
running
a
the pot.
different life for me. That's a totally different life.
I got
It
one for
is, but the point is like we have as black folk, like I said before, we have had this happen to the point to where some of us grow numb with a burning fire of resentment and disdain. Some of us just kind of laugh at it like the Joker and find moments that they can use it to their advantage. And some of us are just still oblivious and asleep, don't even realize what's going on.
I got a little quick story. Hopefully, so this is coming to my latter
Thank you,
years.
Keith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he right.
Exactly. Exactly.
So this is my when I was back in Kentucky, I was at this karaoke event at one of the hotels because they usually down in Hopkinsville they will have like karaoke events at the hotels and stuff. So it was this how can I put it? It was these group of people that was coming up. It was like a business trip. It was like a seminar, you know, with their top executives, employees, and all that stuff. And they was all having drinks and stuff. And I was helping out with the karaoke. One of the guys I recognized, he had on a Ronald Reagan, you know, vote Ronald Reagan shirt on, 84. So I already just read the crowd like okay, it's that type of crowd. So he goes up and he did his karaoke song. White guy, by the way. He gets done. He comes sits next to me. I was thinking that maybe he was coming over here to, hey, I want to sing this song next for my next set. Nope. He said, man, you're the only one that I think I can talk to about this. He takes out his phone. And it was the Wu-Tang Clan, I think they came back together. They got back together for a tour. He said, you're the only one that I can talk to about this. But the Wu-Tang, they get back together again. And you see everybody in this room. I can't talk to them about it. I can talk to you about it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I don't know to feel offended, awkward. I knew about Wu-Tang, you know, getting back together and going on tour, but you had to hold that information until you found a black person.
It's nothing worse as a black person to be in a racist moment that you know is racist, but you kind of agree with. It's like, how dare you, sir, come and ask me, the one black person in the room, about Wu-Tang? Well, why are the niggas getting back together? Like, that's how you really feel inside. But it's like, how do you express that and verbalize that in a respectful manner? Because it's just, like I said, it's weird. You really don't know. I want to be mad, but the information is actually something I want to hear. I just wish it didn't come from a racist moment.
Right, and the crazy thing was, I really wanted to look at him and just look at his shirt. I said, wow, you like hip-hop for somebody who likes Ronald Reagan, who said that hip-hop was one of the biggest problems to drugs. Him and his wife. I'm kind of surprised.
Just say no.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that you waited until you see a brother to talk about this with.
Yeah, you're definitely
he
a
wanted somebody that could relate, but he just wanted somebody that could relate. He wanted to pick your brain to see if you would relate. That was his way of saying, hey, I want to be friends. I want you to be my talking black friend.
It's weird. I mean, I understand it because like I use music. I love music. And like most places I go, I keep my phone on random. I have a lot of music. So when I used to work at UPS, I would have my phone just playing music in there. And every so often I'd be in the truck and get somebody else coming in to help me. So I had white dudes come in there, country looking, the heavy metal, and I listened to the same stuff. So they would usually come in there and hear some hip hop, like some Gucci Mane or some old school '90s, and then just out of nowhere, they hear Conway Twitty or they hear Judas Priest, and I could always I'm just working, and I could see them when they realize it. What the? Are you listening to? He's like, is that Crazy Train? Yeah. What you know about that, Ozzy? And they give me a look like, nigga, what you know about that, Ozzy? And it's like, hold on, are we friends? Like, I met a black guy that likes rock music. Not every black guys like music. Like, no, this nigga like rock music. He put me on some shit.
but see, the crazy thing is about individualism. I believe they should teach you. You have a son that's in the Navy, but he went to college, correct?
Coast Guard, yes.
Yeah. So you would think if you have definitely your kids, you want them to go out, see the world, get out the hood. And you see a lot of movies like that. You see, what's that movie where that one white family adopted that one big linebacker? Yeah. You see a lot of movies like that. But my thing is, which one thing I would want to tell my kids, I would want them to come back, not forever, but to bring back all of what you have learned to the community. Start a nonprofit or come back once in a while. Now you got athletes that actually do that. They have these training camps for young athletes that's trying to go up into the big leagues, and they give advice. But I think we need that more on like a business level where they come back and they be like, if you want to work corporate America, this is what you need to do. Now, if you want to,
well, it's more than that. It's more than that too. It's just like just chop it up with them. Just tell them, hey, these are things I've experienced. These are some things that I've seen. These are some of the differences that I didn't realize. Hey, just you'd be surprised like what little information can be very awe-inspiring for an individual. Like, yeah, the business and side of it is definitely a must, especially for those that's coming upon that age to make money for themselves. But as far as like, just coming down there chopping up with the kids, setting up, just letting them know that, hey, that there's more to this world to aspire, not just in my particular field. Like, hey, man, I was over here in Asia. These folks done got the technology work to where they can actually do 3D. Like, it look like it's coming out at you, man. Like, I got some video you want to see. Like, you might just inspire another, like, the next generation of computer programs.
Right.
From that one little video.
It comes back to, I remember when George Bush had that, he had that bill of No Child Left Behind for the school programs, which actually did more harm than good. And I took that step further, and it's like when we have our people leave the neighborhood and don't come back and give that knowledge to the youth to, help out with the community.
I think that's
yeah. And I think that's 25% of why the communities are what they are, why they're getting gentrified, why they getting taken over by all the drug lords and slum lords and all that stuff. We like going back to the Wednesday show about, responsibility and accountability. Yes, I still believe that we should take accountability for what's been happening to us. But also,
absolutely,
we also have to realize what game we're in, what field we're playing at. We still in the field of white supremacy. And I believe, my heart of hearts, and y'all can quote me on this, y'all can record this part. I believe us black folks can change the status quo. Nothing lasts forever, and I'm not talking about just good things. Nothing lasts forever. You think that this is going to happen no matter how many laws or how many rules that they're going to create or make. Eventually, it's going to come to an end. And that's why I feel what's going on right now with white supremacy. I'm not saying once again, that verdict, Derek Chauvin, is not going to change anything. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say that again. Let me
We
clear.
saw later that night.
Right.
We saw that later that night.
Yeah. It's not going to change anything. But you know what will change? It's
The
where
date.
people. Go ahead, Chichi.
The date. That's the only thing that's going to change.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Right about that.
Teach
And
who? Teach.
Yes.
Which one of your hoes hiding from you?
Which
I
one?
said, which one of your hoes? Excuse my vernacular, but which one of your hoes is hiding from you? Because obviously somebody owe you some money. Because you cold with it tonight.
Yeah, you come. You say, "Oh, they changed, but the date."
You cold with it tonight.
And I lost my chain of thought too when she said that.
Only thing that's going to change is the date.
Because
1800s, 1850s, 1950s, 2000, 2050, the date would change. The situation is the same. I don't think it's going to change.
Mama T's dropping knowledge for you youngins here now.
Because I like I said, like, you know, we gotta take responsibility. We gotta take accountability of our own. And people say, "Where it's a household, it gotta be mother and father." I'm like, no, it's even beyond that. It's even beyond that.
Everybody. It's right. Everybody.
Because
everybody. It's the uncles, it's the mamas, it's the daddies, it's the neighbors, it's the schools, it's the after school care, it's the community workers, it's the motherfuckers that flip fries on the third shift, it's the girl that always smile at you when she take your order at the drive-thru. It's everybody.
And see, when we talk about accountability and taking responsibility, they always want to talk about Malcolm X. But let's look deeper rather than all the things that Malcolm X said. Look at the organization that he had on it. I'm not talking about the NOI. Let's take NOI out. Look at how he had his people organized under him. If y'all haven't watched that Malcolm X movie where Denzel Washington played a perfect, I don't even think he won an award for that, which he should have.
If Malcolm, you ain't gonna get nobody to praise for Malcolm.
If you watch that movie and how he had people under him organized, that's the part y'all should be talking about. That's the part that you should be focused on.
But even with the rise of the NOI and all of their organizational structures, I, at this point in time, would have expected more inroads into our community. They have what are they called? The
because they were never
the security guards.
They were never about. Yeah, I know they were never about assimilating. They were all about confirming. At least that's where they differ from the Christianity. Christianity at least takes a assimilated approach. Come as you are, and you will be molded into it. Instead of the NOI, relinquish yourself and come in with the confirmed mindset and be molded then. That's a little different.
It's different.
They don't really put themselves out there too.
What I'm saying is right. I mean, for a long time, up until the Million Man March, the NOI members, they were persuaded not to vote. So at the Million Man March,
no Muslims.
Now the Muslims are, they do go out and vote, but that's a whole block of political party that's undeveloped, that's undertapped. So, what I'm seeing is We're too split. We have too many options. And when you have so many options, you don't make a choice. When you have
Because
all
you
these
feel like
options,
one
you
of the
don't make
options
a
didn't get
choice.
done.
So
Teach. Oh my
I'm
God.
tired. I'm
Teach.
tired.
Hey,
I'm
let,
tired of
let
it.
me help you out,
All
T.
these cases
Let
been
me help
coming
you
up
with
these
this, T.
last few weeks. I have not even tuned in and heard the circumstances. I don't even want to
Nah, I
hear
mean,
at this
Teach.
point.
Look, hold
look,
beats real quick. But this is
look.
why I've been saying for a long time. I said that in a while. I'm like, look, this is your chance. This is your shot to get
Show up.
political, to actually what communities y'all have a big foothold in. You can put your representatives, groom them, which they do got brothers out there. I'm gonna use Brother X for example, or and Riza Islam. You could have already had these brothers, mayors of communities, already had people already like
At least
superintendents
damn
of school
alderman.
boards or and all that stuff. I've been saying that for the longest time, which leads to what I said in the opening statements. Black people need to stop. We need to be like what Janet Jackson said in that song. What have you done for me lately? That's why when anytime when people get mad when they talk about Minister Farrakhan in the bad light, I'm like, what has he done to make my life a little bit better? When has he ever contacted? He probably did contact these families, but just giving your condolences and stuff, we're sick and tired of condolences. I'm sick and tired of hearing I want to send my prayers and thoughts with the family when they get no justice.
Nigga, I
Where
want to hear how you want to handle it. That's what I
right?
want to hear.
What are you gonna
Come to
do?
me and say how you want to handle it.
And here's the thing with these from a previous show that we done, we was talking about how you had the Rice and who else was coming at Black Lives Matter because they didn't give them any financial support once Black Lives Matter started to like get popularity and got that $90 million. $9 million. That could have been a chance for the NOI to jump in and be like, you know what, we will do something for you. What do you need us to do? But they didn't. They didn't.
Well, they take care of their own. So there was a Muslim. So I don't know.
But
Anyway, I want to change the subject.
yeah, but I'm just saying.
I want you all to talk about this man named Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels.
I know about Kevin Samuels.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
You go ahead. You go ahead, Beats. I'm a week.
I thought it was quite. I mean, you just want to know about what he is overall. I mean, in general, he is a quote unquote relationship specialist and a guru. He focuses in on the labels of independent and modern women. The bulk of his stuff is toward the women. He does have a blatant savage honesty for the men as well. I've personally seen the videos of the call-ins with men who are inadequate. So it's like his general point is supposed to be, if you want a high value person, you need to put yourself in a position to be high value, and certain things can be perceived in a negative light. So you have to do a certain level of a certain level of understanding when looking for a mate, because he may not be A, B, and C, but he's D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. Like, are you? A lot of women, I'm pretty sure Miss Teacher's one of them, ain't a real fan of a lot of stuff he says. And I'll be honest with you, some of the shit he says, yeah, you couldn't get away with saying that stuff back in the day.
Okay. Donnell, can we get your input
on
this same topic?
So my thing is about Kevin Samuels is there's a difference in. I'm all about approach. I'm all about how you say things. and he does come
Yeah.
across as an asshole. Excuse my language. He comes
Hmm.
across very rude. You know, if I have an issue,
So it's
or
not
if,
my imagination.
yeah. So my thing is this: if somebody, because I worked with somebody that had that somewhat of that same attitude, you know, we were so cool, but I just know that I wouldn't ask her for, you know, any advice because they think because if I give it to you straight, no chaser, that's gonna be good for me. When I could be like, I just asked you how to, you know, how do I fry chicken? Even though lazy, I know I fry chicken. Okay, don't try to take my black card. But if I ask for your advice and say I've been fried chicken like this, and your reaction is that's not how you fucking fry chicken. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're supposed to do it like this, do it like this. That's how he come across. Now, all the advice that he's given,
Yeah, he does. He does.
he gives great advice, but that approach for me is more of it's like fighting words for me. And then people will be like, well, you just being too emotional. No, it's not being no emotional. Would you want somebody that you just want to get advice from come at you like you ain't nothing? Is that the type of person you want to get advice from? Or you want somebody to actually talk to you like a human being, like a man, or like a woman with some respect?
Like I
Because
said, it's the verbiage he uses.
and his approach. I mean, you gotta
even as a matchmaker, yeah, certain size and certain things and this and that, but you gotta take in personal preference. Like for me, I don't care how much money I make, I could be worth $7.5 trillion. All the women I'm a date gonna be two something in order to do something. You dig what I'm saying? That's my preference.
And once again, for me, is
I never heard that before. Explain. Do something to do something.
You put yourself out there on that one, Beast. I was about to continue on, but she got you. I'm about to hear this.
I never heard that before.
Yes.
I'm learning. I'm listening.
I'm sorry, Beast. You put yourself out there, man. You put yourself out there.
I mean, it's just a nice, clever colloquial way to say I prefer my women on the healthier side. Some brothers like to say I like my women like I like my chicken, thick and juicy.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. I was thinking something else, but yeah, I feel you on that one. But yeah,
okay.
But
I get you. And this is my point. I've only to be honest. I find him to be arrogant, rude.
That's the word.
Conceited. I find him to be condescending. And
he does come off condescending.
His definition of a high value man or a high value woman, for me, it has no centimeters on the measuring stick. It has no inches on the measuring stick because he has one idea in his head that
and
supposed to fit the whole wide world. And according to his measuring stick, there would be no mating. Okay.
Because the things he's speaking on are like I can attest. I've heard other matchmakers, male and female, especially like those that have had their shows. They've made those type of references and statements. So he's going from a sound place of logic as far as the standard, the status quo, the white supremacy view of what a high value 6-figure plus individual is. And that is beyond their physical status. All the monetary, the materialistic. Well, yeah, for a man. And I've yet to hear him actually go into detail as far as a high value woman. Most of the men on there is just that has come on the main male video that gets all the traction is a young brother that had made a statement of why don't women give me a social cue? Like, let me know that they're interested. And the women always make that statement. He's like, well, describe yourself, how much you make. He hit them the same way he hit the females. And then was like, do you got a big dick? Sorry to be rude, but he asked him flat out, do you got a big dick? And then he stumbled and was like, Corey about it.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing. I saw that video.
Yeah, he was like, okay. He's like, dude, you are 6 foot, almost 300 pounds. You make less than $50,000 a year, and you don't have a big dick. Why would any woman give you a social cue to show that she's intrigued? Like, he went in on my man. So like, he's equal. He's equal in his savagery. As far as if you come up there, and the most videos that get the traction are the ones that actually need the advice, but they're truly ignorant, or they've been completely clouded and blinded by what the media and quote unquote society deems as worthy. So they have this perverse mindset of it. He's just really trying to get them at the end of the day to understand. If you were here at an 87, how can you expect to get someone that's over 105? And you're not even in the 90s, high 90s to mid 90s to even be somewhere close to the radar. Like, how do you expect that? If you want that, you have to put yourself in a better position. That may require some fitness, therapy, a lot of self-assessment and self-fixing. That's really what he's saying at the end of the day. But like we all agree, it's your approach and your verbiage that really taints the message overall.
Speaking of that, let's go ahead and get Mayo up in this conversation.
True little man.
Mayo, welcome to the show.
Yeah, what's up, yeah?
She's going ahead and ask a question. I'll be right back. I got some things I got to do.
Okay.
Before you ask the question, Teach, I got a question. Every time I see his background, I always feel like a random dove is just gonna fly somewhere off in the back. Like all that purple and white.
It looked like a church.
It looked like one of the corner pieces to the set piece from When Doves Cry for Prince video.
Okay.
Every time I just feel like either that or somebody just gonna come in the background with pancakes.
Oh wow.
Well, please ask your question.
Oh man,
Okay.
I can't wait till y'all see the ladder. Somebody with pancakes. Some hot looking sister. Come on, with pancakes. Anyway, let me stop. Go ahead.
So, Mayo, we were talking about Kevin Samuels, the YouTube guru on relationships. Have you heard about him?
That's my homeboy Kevin. No, y'all don't know.
Your homeboy is whipping.
I'm jumping out this conversation.
Oh my gosh!
I come on, Mayo. It's your turn.
You about to have me for dinner tonight. but no, definitely. Let me first talk about my background. Y'all notice I swing it around because the part that has the flag. So I got a part that has a red, black, and green flag. I try to make everything balanced. I got the Ohio flag in that other room right there. I got the United States flag. I got the red, black, and green flag over there. So it's funny every time I come downstairs to, I do, so when I'm in this room, pretty much, that when that shows up, I'm always trying to move it around so that the flag is not showing too much. I want to balance what I represent symbolically. But anyways, they always talking about the background, so that I want to make sure I talk about that for a minute. And back to Kevin.
Your
Kevin,
homeboy. Talk about your homeboy.
He's not my homeboy. Yeah, I'm joking. Obviously, he's deeply disturbed somewhere, in the sense of somewhere along the way somebody. No, well, there's a bad side you don't want to hear about. But he's disturbed in the sense that obviously somebody has hurt him before. Obviously somebody has hurt him before. He's hurt, and he's trying to make sure that people feel the pain that he's hurting by. I don't even think it's consciously, it's subconsciously. I think that he has because this is what it is. I think 90% of what Kevin says is 100% truth. From my perspective as a man, 90% of what he's saying is truth. The question is how he's saying it. How he's dishing it out. I mean, I think that it's too harsh. I mean, if you're talking to a sister that don't know her ways, which I mean, I tend to believe that a lot of sisters, and hopefully they're not watching this. Well, if they are, hopefully they are watching. But hopefully they're not too harsh on me. I think 90% of our sisters today as well are in an illusion where they feel like they should just get whatever they want because they want what they want. And he gives it to them straight about how you gonna get that, how you gonna get that if your life is this way. And so he tells them the truth, at least the way most men think that men would not want to talk about. We've been socialized to never tell that much of a truth to each other. So but again, somewhere along the way he's been hurting to the point where he doesn't have a filter. He just he talks, and I'm like, whoa, you just told that woman about herself like that? It's too harsh. But there's a lot of truth in what he tells them. You can't just have everything you want without bringing anything to the table. And sometimes you bring something to the table, but you think that everything is supposed to go your way. Oh, I could do by myself. I'm an individual, independent woman. There's that. Well, if you're independent, then you want to be by yourself. I mean, all these things he's saying is things that men wish they could say, but because we've been raised a lot by our parents, which I'm often sorry about our mom most of the time. Single moms raise most of our men, so they feel like I better not say anything like that. Most of us, got sisters at home. Oh, so at the moment we listen to this, we're trying to chase some scuds. So if you're trying to chase some scuds, you don't want to see them watch you support what this guy is saying. So we kind of we don't never say what he's saying. But he's saying a lot of things that a lot of us think, but don't never say. That's like I'm done. No, I'm just saying the videos that I've seen. I'll say one more thing. I agree with the videos that I've seen. I've only seen a few videos because I can't stand to watch him for too long. Watch him dog a sister, so I don't watch too many of his videos. But the ones that I've seen, he seems to be telling a lot of truth.
Yeah, and you're correct about that.
I watch enough. Oh, go ahead, teach. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, I watched like half of one video and I was totally turned off. And the reason why I was totally turned off, he had this young lady come on, and basically he just killed. If she would have accepted what he said, he killed her self-esteem. She was an average-looking girl. She was not overweight. She was not Beyonce. She was not Beyonce, but she was a nice-looking girl. So he had her put herself on the scale between 8 and 10. Beyonce being 10, she said she was an 8. So he proceeded to dog her out and to bring her down to say, if Beyonce is 10, how could you think that you're an 8? And he mentioned some other actresses or famous people. And the thing is this: if the world went by his scale, there'd be no relationships.
The sad thing is,
none.
His scale is based off of what the world deems as beautiful. Because I watch enough of him and I'm actually listening to what he's saying,
and that contributes to why so there are no relationships.
It does. It does because, like I said, go back to the verbiage. The way in which he's talking to these women, and he's trying to be as logical and rational, but it's coming off very cold and condescending. And then sometimes he just says "fuck it" and goes straight forward.
That's true.
Because like I said, I personally have said some of the things that he has said to women. Like, in all honesty, not to that degree, but it's like, hey, I've always told my female friends, how can you expect a man to love you if you don't truly love yourself? If you can't, because we're willing to accept you, knowing that you're going to accept us. Because men know we know we jacked up. We know we got our issues. So if we can find a woman that's willing to accept us, and we can accept you, but we can't accept you not accepting you.
But my thing is, you mentioned the rational part. To me, you can't be arrogant and be rational at the same time.
That's the problem. He comes off. He tries to speak rational.
Look,
but his tone and his conduct is so arrogant.
What I sense from him, I don't know him. I do not know. But what I sense from him, I hear his pain crying out in all of this. His pain is, I tried to go after a high value woman and I got hurt.
Yeah,
I got rejected.
That's what it sounds like to me, Teach. That's
what it sounds like to me.
I do hear pain. I do hear, because it has been admitted that he's admitted that he's been married before.
Hold up. I'll take it a step further. Does this man even have a woman?
Well, good point. Good question.
Well, what has come out is that he does have a child and he owes child support.
Well, here's the funny thing too about matchmakers.
His value just went way down.
I mean, let's be honest. Even amongst the white, society, how many matchmakers that you've heard of, seen of, TV shows, and how many of them have actually currently been married or been in relationships when you've seen them? You had that one show on TLC, Millionaire Matchmaker. She went about 3-4 seasons before she got herself a boyfriend. Mm. So there's always that kind of weird perception. If you're a guru or if you say enough smart things that people agree with, you can call yourself a relationship guru or advice person. Well, like T says, when you look at your life, how can you tell me about relationships and you're currently not in one?
What?
Like Derrick Jackson, he did the same. Oh. He was in a similar situation. Doing all, but the same thing, doing all that mess. He was talking, and he even had some truth to some of the stuff he was saying too.
I didn't like him until his scandal.
So
exactly. That's the whole point. Because on the flip end, Derrick Jackson is the flip end of how men feel. Men feel about Derrick Jackson the way women feel about Kevin Samuels. You said he dogged the fuck out of us.
Yeah, but go ahead.
For no reason. And he actually destroyed several relationships with women. Comment like, I gave up my dude to you.
Let me ask you something. She's the only woman on here. So now with what we know about Derrick Jackson, which I never even know about him until he got caught. I had to go Google him then. But so now that what we know about him, if you had to pick one, if you just had to pick one, in between Derrick Jackson and Kevin, who would you pick? Knowing what you know about Derrick Jackson now.
Can I just shoot myself?
If I had to pick one for what?
I mean, to be to be either your friend, advice. Oh no, you know how to say you kill one, date one, marry whatever game people play. They say that. Like if you had to marry one and be your friend and confidant, and one be one that you get married, whatever. I mean, whatever the game that people play.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but if
I know the game you're trying to play. I know the game you're trying to play.
Okay.
I just want to know what women think about them now.
It would be a tie.
I guess the question
It would be a tie because with Kevin Samuels, see, it'll be a meeting of the minds. I will always have a way to tear him down and poke holes in all of his. He's so conceited. He thinks that he's spouting out
True.
Albert Einstein's law of relativity or something, and I would have joy bringing him back down to the ground. Derrick Jackson.
I mean, I agree with Teach on it.
I mean, because he's arrogant for nothing. He's arrogant for nothing.
Like my point of
I want to hear. How about Derrick? You gotta pick one. You can't give that little analogy. You gotta pick one. I want to find out because Derrick Jackson was y'all sweetheart, and now y'all know what y'all know about him, and y'all just hate Kevin so much. I want to find out what y'all think because we've not caught Kevin cheating yet. I mean, at least
pretty much the question he's asking is knowing what we know now and knowing of what we know of Kevin Samuels, who would you really be willing to listen to?
What? Thank you. You got it better.
Oh, see, I wouldn't be willing to listen to either one.
If you had to pick one.
But see, I'm a what they call a saposexual. turn me on with your mind. So Kevin Samuels,
Look at that.
we can go there. See, we can go there.
So Kevin
But
wins. Then.
Derek
She may say
Jackson,
Derek Simple.
Derek
That boy can't
Jackson,
get
we
right.
can go there in another category.
Oh, okay.
We can speak a different language.
Oh.
We can speak in tongues.
Oh.
I dig you, TJ. I dig you now.
I'm done. Look at him done.
See, me and Derek Jackson, we'll have a whole new language. Whole new vibe. And see, Kevin Samuels, I don't know how old he is, but he's older than Derek Jackson.
Yeah, he is. He is.
So his value.
His value went down because
his value definitely went down in the age department.
So I guess in the game of
I'll put it like this. Me and Kevin, we can do lunch.
Okay.
Me and Derek, we can do dinner in the nightcap.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to take a step further. I'm going to get paid with this. So, see, y'all doing lunch, but it's going to be lunch.
Say that again.
I said, where's the lunch going to be at? With we already probably going to know with you and Jackson, the nightcap. Y'all going to be at a very nice restaurant. I just wonder what restaurant y'all going to be going to for lunch. With Kevin
Derek, what used to get me about Derek, he was from his car. How come he wouldn't get a green screen? that goes over my head. With all the videos he's done, and he finally did, his house with his wife. How come he wouldn't get a green screen? What's up with peeping and hiding in his car?
Hey. Look, Cheech, I'm happy that you came up with a great idea for us to have a so I would say that. But but for me, for both of these guys, I think you said it right, Cheech. They do have that place. I think Jackson, my issue with Jackson was he just leaned too far for the women. He just bashed us a lot.
What?
And my issue with Kevin Samuels is he, as they would say in the South, he knows. Let me see how they say it. He's too good for his own good. He's too good for his own good, and that's the problem with Kevin Samuels. And you got people who think they are jack of this trade that you can't tell nobody nothing. And I understand. It'd be a pride thing. Like, with me with the show. And I would think that I know it inside and out, but I know it's an ever-learning process with me doing this, even though I probably got more experience than y'all. But guess what? Everybody can contribute to on the table. And then also, I think Jackson also was arrogant in his own way too as well, where he just think that he just know what the women want. And men, you need to listen. And then Kevin Samuels doing the same thing over here. Like, women, you need to know what men want. It's just, if they can just, one, if he knows to stick with one woman. And the other, yes, we've been there. Our heart's been broken. Life goes on. It's all about a different approach. And that's the biggest issue also in the military too. All these newly promoted leaders just think if I be an asshole, just like my predecessor, everybody's going to respect me. No, they're not going to respect you. The reason why they're going to listen to you because they respect your position. I don't got to respect you. I can tell you to kiss my ass, but if I do that, I could get fired. Now in the military, you can't get fired, but you get in trouble. But like I said, it's the delivery. You don't have to be an a-hole. Teach can tell me I'm wrong and be respectful about it. She can just be calm with like, Morris, I disagree with you on it, and I understand. And whatever else follows on what I need to fix on. But Teach come at me, be like, Morris, you knew that shit sucked. You're wrong. like coming at me like, damn, like who you talking to, you know? But it's just a simple fact of the delivery. You could be right. And we all agree with the things that Kevin Samuel said, that majority of the things that he said, well, I know Teach, you kind of got like a but but I'm gonna put Derrick Jackson. What's his name? Did I say his name right? Derrick Jackson, correct? Right? That's his name?
Yeah.
Derrick Jackson. You know, let's say 95% of the things that they say is true.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm just putting in category for for this analogy sake. But
now, I say he catered to the women. He did cater to the women.
He sipped. Like they say, he was sipping real hard for the women. But
and also, the men that I know that they're like all behind Kevin Samuels because he basically caters to the men, and the men is just like he's God sent. He, like Mayo said, he is saying things that we can't say, but he's saying everything that's going through our mind.
or in typical
overall
fashion, what everybody say, he tells it like it is.
And he ain't necessarily saying like it is, but he is definitely bringing light to a lot of issues and commentary that beta men don't feel comfortable speaking about or are not articulate enough to be able to speak about it.
I mean,
true. I guess I didn't think about it as a beta man. I know if it was about alpha man. I guess that makes it. But no, on the real, I get what you're saying. My thing about the Kevin is, and final thing about him is, he's saying a lot of things that we want to say and that we won't say. There's some analogies that he has that are off chart, like the Beyonce's noise. I mean, you don't have to be all that for me to really want you, but it's just
it's an oxymoron with that analogy, because he starts off by saying, on a scale of 1 to 10, fresh, no makeup, early in the morning, this is you in your au naturel. And then you make a reference to Kelly Rowland and Beyonce.
What? Well, he's saying that they too.
Yeah, but the point I'm saying is, like, you're making reference to women who are, they're praised for their beauty, but they're not praised for their natural beauty.
What?
So you're asking them to rate them on a scale of natural beautiness, but using overall status quo beauty as a reference. That confuses the hell out of them. Confuses me as a man. Like, I'm pretty sure Beyonce don't look nowhere near like Beyonce first thing in the morning. Kelly might still be ass cute, but I don't think she all the way Kelly Rowland cute first thing in the morning. I'm like, who really is this shit first thing in the morning?
Unless,
like, even after you wash it, after you wash your face.
I mean, unless your name is Prince, because he had every single one of his girls put on makeup before he woke up every morning.
Wow.
So
I mean, okay, number one is Prince. Just like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is the only man that have pictures taken with multiple women at growing level, and he always looking back at niggas with that look like, why you here? And nobody has ever been like, Michael Jackson was a virgin. He didn't like women. You damn lie, he didn't like women. There's pictures that show disagree with that. You don't put yourself, Linda Blair should not be nowhere near that close to the glory that is Michael Jackson. But there's pictures that let you know it happened.
I mean, Linda Blair didn't have a relationship with Rick James, but go ahead, Mayo.
On the wheels, I think that the one thing that Kevin did that did well, that I can say that the other guy, Jackson guy, so the Jackson guy, one of the things I don't like about it, he was given this false narrative about what we felt like, like to make women like him, so I mean, and if
to make him buy his phone.
Right, to buy us whatever, my thing is, if you're going to represent me, you better represent me the way I want to be represented. So I would say that as a man, that Kevin was representing me better than the way Derrick Jackson was, because Derrick Jackson had an alternative motive to make us look, but he was throwing us under the bus to make himself look good. While Kevin was like whatever reason why he was doing it is, he was at least representing the majority of what we think about. And that's what I'm saying. So Derek Jackson was a Tyler Perry movie in narrative. You know, like how some black brother always hurt some black girl in the Tyler Perry movie, and somebody gotta come save her. That's the I mean, most of his movies. And Madea to sitting there like, girl, why you let this brother do like that? Like all that stuff. That's So that was what he's sitting there like talking about all this bad stuff that we can do. No, I'm not saying that there aren't brothers like that on the streets. I mean, every sister that I've dealt with before, they've told me about some side story about some dude that they took care of, and I'm like what? Like, I mean, because I'm like, where y'all find this riffraff dudes at? I'm really bothered by these dudes that they've been with.
That really exists.
Let me ask
I
a
heard
question.
stories, but that really exists.
Go ahead.
So what?
Let me ask a question.
Just
each city gives a different demographic and relationship rules and so forth and so on. And I know I mentioned to Mayo, but I'm gonna say this. Before I left this city, almost 20 years ago, I was dating a guy, and we were engaged, and we were supposed to get married. But things went so far south that I made a proclamation, and I held to it. I said, I never have to date another man born in this city that drink the water from the Detroit River or
Man, it be that way. I feel the same way about Greensboro.
or breathe the air. Then it went so bad. I said, I never have to date another man from this state. I don't even want another man from this country. I can go to Africa and find a man that's going to give me what I want. And that's what I did. It was 6 years later. I did meet an African man, and we still married to this day. But the reason why I made those proclamations is because he was the pinnacle, a total sample of what was happening here in the city. It was a big game. Everybody was playing the game except for me. So all those people that Derek Jackson were talking about, they live here in this city. Yep. I ran across a few of them before I got to this guy. And when I got to this guy, he just pulled all of it out. So Derek Jackson ain't making up scenarios. They are real. They are true.
I was getting there because I mean, some of this
it may not be to your circumstance, but this is my question to you men.
I've heard
why is it that you all think that if you have a woman and you are doing something bad to her, now this could be your testosterone blind spot. You may not see it as bad, but you're doing something bad to her. She comes to the conclusion that she can't take any more of it. Why does your men gene kick in and say, another woman told her that?
Oh.
Like it had to be her girlfriend that influenced her to make that decision, or her mama, or her sister,
I got two reasons for you.
Or her single girlfriend. Why does your men gene kick in to say somebody else has influenced her versus
I got two reasons for you.
He's full of your shit. They can't take it no more.
Can I go ahead and get something to Jimmy before I answer?
Go ahead. So you got this first. You got this first, Mayo.
Oh yeah, let me jump in real quick. So from somebody who's for somebody who's a wholesome man, I believe that. And I don't see. I maybe I should start my own show, but that's a whole different thing with this guy. You know how this Derek Jackson. For somebody who I believe that I've not in my life done a woman that I was with for like as a full relationship. I've never done anybody wrong enough to say again that they left like your scenario, right? They left because of something I did, right? So for somebody who's like that, it's cool to be able to be in that to answer this question. One, it could be just assumption, because That's what we are used to. I mean, the thing about songs, like don't listen to what your girls say. I mean, you watch movies, girls. I mean, so it could be it's our culture. Like it could be something that we see from the culture. I don't want to see that culture and claim it, but we have some bad things we do in our culture too. I mean, so if we're gonna claim the good, let's habits. Let me use the word habits instead of culture. So we know some of the things in our habits. Oh, like forget that, man. There's all these things that we see. We know it happened. We know men talk. We know women talk. When my woman, the first woman that did me wrong, when she did me wrong, all the brothers that were real close to me that I shared, like man, forget her, man. Like she ain't what, and she, I mean, they were right. I mean, you the best thing she probably could have had up until her in her life. I mean, because they know how I try to be the great guy I try to be. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that as much as guys do it, women do it too. So assumption kicks in, like you're like, she talking to somebody. Somebody got to be. I mean, and quite frankly, if you are a human being that nobody talks to you, you don't talk to anybody about getting some kind of recommendations about life, and you think it's all about what you think or what you do, then something is kind of strange. I mean, you need to be careful about that. Everybody needs to have somebody that can talk to them. Somebody can give you advice anyway. So one is assumption. Two, the woman sometimes will tell you. Because everywhere they go with their girls, and when they get back and they start arguing, my girl said this, my girl said that. So that somewhere along the way they talk to them. So it's out of the assumption part. Oh, my girl tells me this, but either one of the two, it's a safe space. If you're a woman that I'm talking to, if I'm trying to talk to a woman and she don't have no friends that she talks to, that's a red flag right there for me. Because I feel like who's gonna tell you that you wrong when you do wrong? Who's gonna check you at some point? Because if I'm the one that did you wrong and we arguing, who do you go to? Yourself? So I yield on that one.
Okay, I see Donnell, you taking notes. I
I'm
want to hear what you have to say.
Beats, go ahead, man. I'll be glad.
I mean, first off, it starts from a paranoid nerve that comes from some form of experience, being primary, secondary, or tertiary. Primary being like they personally experience something that makes them feel that way, someone close by, or a close enough situation being like someone in the neighborhood to the extent of like reality TV, old school talk shows like Maury or divorce court joints like that. Not social media, but those you'll see those type of issues prevalent there. So getting some kind of experience, like there's the one primary example when we talk about tertiary. It was on the court show, and the young man was suing the woman for the cost of basically her friend told her that he was cheating because the friend saw him with another woman. So she drugged him, gave him sleeping pills, drugged him, and then cut his dreads.
Oh.
Come to find out that the woman that the friend seen him with was his cousin, a woman that the girlfriend already knew about. But she chose to believe the friend without at least bringing it to his knowledge first, and chose to act in that manner. And it came out in court, and even the judge, being the female, was like, you should have known better. Like, you was wrong. You see situations like that, so you get that kind of knee-jerk response in your mind. She may be talking to somebody else. Some of us men will kind of just let it pass and kind of move on. Some of us grab on to that knee-jerk response and then turn it into a whole fucking movement. But honestly, it just kind of boils down to a level of fear and slight insecurity.
I guess it's my turn.
Donnell? Yes.
I forgot to get the Jim Beam over here. You're lucky. All right, so the reason why I say that, because 9 times out of 10, it's what it is. I hate to say it is what it is, but it happens where it will be the homegirl, because y'all not going to tell me that when you having issues in your relationship that you don't go back and tell your homegirl like, yo, this dude here, man. I just tell him one simple thing, and homegirl girl, if my man don't do that, I got him on lead. And the same thing with us dudes. I'm being fair. Y'all know me. I gotta keep it in the middle. Even us dudes, we go tell our boys like, yo, dog, this girl here, man, she just getting on my nerves. I'm just trying to enjoy the game. I'm trying to enjoy the game. She's over there distracting me. Hey, why did you watch this last little dish up in the freaking sink? And like, and then you have your homie like, dude, dog, my woman don't do that. I said, leave the dish up in there. Leave it up in there. I get it later. You know, you get these advice and all that stuff. Because even if the roles were reversed, she would be like, you need to stop listening to Leroy. I know where you get that from. That's not you. You were listening to Leroy. That's why him and his girl is about to break up. You probably didn't know that neither. I know. Because it'd be the same thing. It'd be the same thing. Because we all go back to our corner. I treat it as boxing. Anybody watch Marriage Boot Camp? They actually had to stop filming. And I related to that one exercise that they got where they in the boxing ring, where they basically are arguing at each other about, you know, what they've been, you know, tell how you feel. So they would have like a subject, like let's say cleaning. And then they would come into the middle and then they will argue about that. And the goal is not to, you know, see the couples, they thinking that if I could just say so much about how you get on my nerves and all that stuff and how you don't see it my way, I win. But it's basically the exercise is showing that look at all this animosity that y'all have over each other over one small little thing. It's not about who wins. It's about look at the situation. It could be a simple little, you know, excuse me, I'm watching the game and you walk across the screen and I get mad. And now we into an argument. You care about the game more than you care about me.
Yeah.
So I just see it as you know, it's a legit thing to say because y'all do go back to your homegirls, like we go back to our homeboys, and we get that liquid courage and be like, okay, yeah, I want her to say something to me when I get back home. I want him to say something when I get back home. I'm gonna let him know.
So,
real quick, if I could add real quick to what you just said, and you better not be talking to the opposite sex, you know what I mean? Because that's the worst case scenario. I mean, because that's probably who's going to take over the relationship at that point, because that happens too. So, I mean, I'm hoping that you talk to your girl, because when you start talking to another dude about you talk to another
somebody
dude about,
got to die.
Then he's subconsciously
Somebody got to die.
Like he got to help. He playing the Derek, whatever his name is, Johnson.
Yeah,
He's playing Derek Johnson. So I'm like, you better not be talking about
started trading.
So I'm hoping that you talk to your dog. I'm really hoping that.
Hey, Teach, I hope you can understand this when I say this. Ain't gonna be no Jodies coming through the back door around here now. Ain't gonna be no Jodies around here now.
No Jodies.
No Jodies.
Too much Marvin Seas right there, man. My boy Marvin Seas, man.
Gosh. But yeah, go ahead, teach me about that.
Sorry about that.
No, that you all really helped me shed light on that situation. Because I always thought about it. You know, men always think that it's somebody else influencing that female versus his actions. And that's a denial of his responsibility or contribution to the thing. But you all brought out some points that I hadn't thought about. And maybe because of my age, I'm not thinking about it because younger women do run off with the mouth.
Mm-hmm. And
younger women run off with the mouth. They don't know how to respect the man. They don't know.
Teach, you'd be surprised how many older women I've been forced to be around growing up that was real loose with the lips.
That may be true. I mean, yeah. I mean, I started out talking about family and the ways that we can heal. And as a woman, I found that, male has that front door right there. He coming home from a day of work. When he hit that front door, that woman, he want to turn right back around and go out.
Yeah.
And these younger women don't understand why he want to leave. Because you did not make the atmosphere conducive for him to want to come home. Nobody wants to be barked at.
It should be like, it should be more of, how was your day? Or not even that. I got the food on the table. If you feel like, you want to talk, we can talk. But speaking of talk,
You're gonna hit another. That I heard I got the food on the table. You're gonna hit another, man. It's a woman's what's called revolution. Whatever, like let's talk about how come you don't have the food, bring the food in. Well,
that's
you're gonna hit another with that. Be careful with that.
Yeah, you're right.
The roles in the relationship are all mixed up in mumbo jumbo. Nobody know what they're supposed to do. They're assuming other roles, and then you're assuming roles, and it's just all mixed up.
That's because they're not being honest. They're not being they're not understanding the logic behind it. Like me as a gamer, they got the post going around now. The dude just sitting there playing the game. The girl just pretty much telling all the other females. He could easily be out here in the streets, be out here laid up with another female. But no, he's at home after a hard day. This is how he unwinds. If this is how he unwinds, it's the same thing as you coming home after a long day and want 2 glasses of wine before you deal with anybody.
Speaking of that,
let me get a good hour with Call of Duty on first.
Right. Speaking of that, we have reached the end of our show. We didn't reach the segments, which I'm happy we got to deep discussion and talk about other things. So we just going to do our final points, and we're going to start off with Mayo, then to Beast, to the teacher, then to myself.
Okay, I see. We were having so much fun today. We didn't want to end the show. All right.
I love the light mood here. I love it.
I know. I mean, literally, I think this is probably one of the most times that we had so much fun, especially those last 2 segments. We were going in. You were going in.
Got me an idea for a Nick's show for Wednesday.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, I'll be in that same spirit and say, have fun. And. I'll throw one more in. If you can do some stuff yourself, is it DIY? Is that what? Whatever. Do some stuff. I've been doing some stuff in the house already myself. Of course, I'm in construction trade already, and being a general contractor, I do a lot. But I've always stayed away from electrical work and stuff. And I had this electrician that's working with me, teach me how to put some recessed lights in my house. So I've been doing that in one of my bedrooms. So, and it's kind of fun to learn something so fun, something so scary that I've been, not I won't say scary, but something that I've been pushing myself away from, and and be able to do it pretty well. So it's just fun. But bottom line of what I'm trying to say is learn how to do something yourself. And number 2, have fun. Life is too rough for us not have fun within. Have fun.
Go ahead, Beast.
My final point: don't expect forgiveness if you ain't willing to admit fault.
Ooh, good one.
Teach.
I have 2 final thoughts. Don't ask for forgiveness if you have not repented, and if you have not paid for the deeds that you have done. And then the Black family, let's heal. God, heal yourself. Goddess, heal yourself. God, realign your energies and balance yourself out. Goddess, realign your energies and balance yourself out. So you can come together as God and Goddess in full balance with all of your energies fully aligned, that you may create the life that you want.
And speaking of that, my final point is this. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to start doing shows on cooking. on the trip. So yeah, I'm taking it there. I am going to learn how to start making stuff from scratch. Number one, and number two, I'm gonna do it all on my girlfriend's grill. So stay tuned. So stay tuned for that. If y'all have any recipes that y'all want me to give a try, because I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, I will do it. And then also coming soon, gonna have special interviews where it's gonna be hosted by me and Teach, as well as me and Beast Johnson gonna be hosting some watch parties. And then also coming soon, Mayo, I just need to work with you after hours. He will be having shows up on here too as well. So
Absolutely.
gentlemen.
And
So,
look out for this Friday. My bad. We're doing an announcement. Quick announcement. Look out for this Friday. For it probably be like a day show before our show, but it'll be from the last Thursday. Every last Thursday of the month we do seafood blues night.
yeah,
And on
we
the
talked
Fri-
about that.
and on the Friday morning or afternoon, we're gonna talk about the seafood from the night before and the blues that we listened to the night before.
Yeah.
Talk about blues music and how it helps our lives. You know.
All right, cool. And with that being said, and also I'm gonna reach out to my boy Rod for the real estate show. We missed it last month, but this month we're not going to. This month coming up, we're not going to miss a beat. But other than that, thank y'all for tuning in. As for Beast Johnson, Mayo, Teach, Teach. I give it an AKA and a joke. That is your name, Teach. And joke, AKA Teach, and then me, your gracious host, Donnell Monte Morris. Thank y'all for tuning in to another edition of Hashtag Fade to Black. Don't forget to follow, don't forget to like, don't forget to share this show. And once again, thank you to Sky Zone Society for sponsoring the whole show. Thank you so very, very much. We are outro. Y'all have a good one. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe. We're out. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Peace.
Good night.